welcome to practice. I'm Stephanie. So the whole theme that we've been working with this week is understanding what yoga actually is there for and what it's offering us. So at its root, yoga is there to enhance our life and bring more joy, more balance, more health, more vitality. So when I'm speaking to you in class, really pay attention to what resonates with you and then hold on to that and let that run and guide and kind of infuse more power into our practice. If you get excited when I talk about alignment of the body and the physical body, then really guide your practice towards that. If you get excited about the breath or spirituality or any part of the practice that I'm speaking to, then let that be kind of your guiding force to deepen your practice. I hope you enjoy. All right, so today let's come to stand at the top of our mat. Take a moment here to become grounded and settle into the feet. We right away start to stack and organize the body all the way from the toes through to the crown of the head. The tailbone is tucked slightly under. The belly button draws into the spine. Shoulders roll down your back. And we just start to deepen the breath in and out through the nose. And as we become steady here, let's set an intention for our practice. So again, something that guides your practice, something that can infuse more energy, more passion. Start to thread that intention into your breath. Very good. And then let's take our feet hip width distance apart and interlace your hands behind your head. First, find length through the spine and then start to tilt back, pressing your head into your hands. Gaze comes up towards the ceiling. The back bend is just slight and mostly focused in towards the upper spine. Start to breathe into the chest, feeling expansion. Good. And then inhale back up through center, lengthen. And then let's tilt over towards the right side. So right elbow drops down, left elbow up. Good. Just as much weight into the left foot as you do have into the right. Extend and feel the expansion to the left side of the body. Good. Inhale back up through center, lengthen. And then exhale over to the left. So right away we're starting to connect to the sides of the body. Organizing, finding space, finding length. Inhale back up through center, extend your fingertips up towards the ceiling, gaze comes up. And exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, look up with a flat spine. Exhale, plant your hands, jump or step back into high plank. Let's lower Chaturanga Dandasana, hug your elbows to your side. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good, so first downward facing dog, let's just take our time here, maybe pedal out the legs. Start to tilt your tailbone up towards the ceiling and push the mat away from you with your hands. Good, with your next breath, inhale your left leg up towards the ceiling. Come high up onto your left toes. Find a little more space. And then inhale, let's step our right foot in between our hands. Drop your left knee and inhale your arms up. Good, take one more breath here. Exhale, plant your hands onto either side of that right foot. And then inhale, we're going to straighten both legs. Right toes come up towards the ceiling for pyramid posture. With your exhale, let's bend both knees back down. Left knee plants down to the mat. Gaze comes up. Good. And then again, inhale, straighten both legs. Now moving with the breath. Exhale, we bend the knees. And then exhale, toes up towards the ceiling. Find your own rhythm, find your own pace. Just starting to warm up the legs. Bring a little more mobility and extension. Good, last time. We straighten, fold forward. Plant the hands and step back into three-legged dog. Right toes up towards the ceiling. Extend one more time here. And then plant the right foot down, switch sides. Inhale your left leg up towards the ceiling. Come high up onto your right toes. Breathe here, find tons of extension. And then let's step the left foot in between your hands. Right knee drops down onto the mat. Inhale your arms up towards the ceiling for Anjaneyasana. And let's bring our hands onto either side of that front foot. And again, we'll move with the breath. So a little slower to begin. Inhale, both legs straighten. Left toes up towards the ceiling. Gaze comes back. Once again, let's bend through the knees. Extend through the crown of the head. And then straighten your legs. Gaze back towards your right toes. Good, move with your breath. Inhale, we drop down. Exhale, we straighten. Inhale, both knees are bent. Exhale, straighten. Good, pause here. Plant your hands onto the mat. Inhale your left leg up towards the ceiling for three-legged dog. One big inhale. And exhale, we come back into downward facing dog. Good, let's roll through high plank. Shoulders over your wrists. Let's lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take one more. Inhale, roll forward into high plank. Let's lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good, we'll add on a little bit here. So inhale, right toes up towards the ceiling. Come high up onto the left toes and step your right foot through for Anjaneyasana. Tap your left knee down onto the mat. Okay, inhale, straighten both legs for pyramid posture. Right toes up towards the ceiling. Extend forward. Let's bend slightly back into that right knee. Walk your fingertips forward and then come into an L position. Light onto the left toes. Left leg reaches up. Parallel with the mat. Gaze is down. Keep rolling that left hip down to the mat. Good, let's bring our left foot to meet our right foot. Walk your fingertips back. Sit back into chair posture, bending the knees. Inhale, come up with the arms. Okay, inhale, we straighten the legs, lean back, bring your arms up. And exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, gaze comes up. Exhale, plant your hands, jump or step back into high plank. Let's lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now switching sides. Inhale your left foot up. Come high up onto the right toes. Extend here out of the body. Now step your left foot through. Drop your right knee and come high onto your fingertips. Anjaneyasana. Good. With your next inhale, let's straighten both legs. Left toes up towards the ceiling for pyramid posture. Let's plant your left foot down to the mat. Start to bend into the left knee. Walk your fingertips forward. And your right leg comes up. Parallel with the mat. Gaze comes down. Nice and long through the spine. And reach through those right toes as you roll your right hip down. Beautiful. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Let's bring our right foot to meet our left. Walk your fingertips back. Sit back into chair posture. Inhale, come up with the arms. Sit low. Use the strength of the legs. Keep drawing the belly button towards the spine. 1 more breath. Good. Inhale, straighten your legs. Reach your arms up. Lean back for a gentle back bend. And then fold forward. Inhale, gaze comes up. Exhale, plant your hands. Jump or step back into high plank. Let's lower. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Once again, let's roll forward into high plank. Let's lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Very good. Good, let's inhale our right leg up towards the ceiling. Come high up onto our left toes. Step your right foot through. Drop your left knee down to the mat. Inhale, straighten both legs. Right toes up towards the ceiling. Fold forward. Start to plant your right foot down. Bend into the right knee as you walk your fingertips forward and lift your left leg up towards the ceiling. Good. Not too high, just parallel with the mat so it's an L shape. High onto the fingertips. Drop your left foot next to your right. Walk your fingertips back, sit back into chair posture, bend your knees, inhale, come up with the arms. Good, let's bring your hands in front of heart center. Cross your left elbow to your right knee. Good, extend the arms here if possible, opening up nice and tall. Sit a little deeper. Good, let's bring our hands back through heart center and switch sides. Cross your right elbow towards your left knee, open your arms up and sit a little deeper. Okay, we straighten the legs, we fold forward. We hang out here just for 2 breaths.
Holding nice and deep. Walk your hands back. Keep drawing the belly button towards your spine. Good. Inhale, gaze comes up, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold. Again, inhale, gaze comes up, start to flow through the spine. Exhale, fold. Let's do 2 more like that. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, we fold. Last one. Inhale and exhale. Okay, let's plant the hands. Jump or step back into high plank. Let's lower chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right away, let's lift our left toes up towards the ceiling. Come high up onto the right toes. And send your left foot through. Coming in between your hands, drop your right knee down. And with your next inhale, let's straighten both legs. Left toes up towards the ceiling. Let's have a slight bend into the left knee as you walk your fingertips forward. Right toes come up off the mat. Right legs parallel with the mat. 1 breath. Good. Right foot drops to meet your left. Let's walk our fingertips back. Sink down into chair posture. Inhale, come up with the arms. Sit nice and deep. Bring our hands in front of heart center. Let's cross left elbow to right knee. Open your arms up here for 1 breath. And let's return our hands back through heart center and switch sides. Left elbow to right knee, open your arms up. Good, let's return back through center, straighten your legs. 2 breaths here, fold forward. Okay, let's start to wave through the spine. Inhale, we gaze up, lengthen through the spine. And exhale, fold. Inhale, look up, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, we fold. Last time. Roll through the spine, lengthen. Plant the hands, jump or step back into high plank. Let's lower chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Very good. So at this point in the practice, we should be feeling nice and warm. The breath should be flowing. We should be really steady into the body. We want the mind to be steady and focused and really grounded down into our attention. So let's take 2 more breaths here. Good. Let's bring our gaze forward. Jump or step to the top of your mat. Inhale, look up, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up, nice and strong. Let's interlace our hands behind our head. Lean back. Gaze comes up. Inhale, back up through center. Exhale to the right. Right elbow drops, left towards the ceiling. Good. Let's return back up through center and lengthen. Exhale to the left. Inhale, back up through center. Extend your arms up towards the ceiling. Gaze comes up. And then hands return to your side into Samastitihi. Good, so stay at the top of our mat. Let's move through a bit of a standing flow. So let's step back with the right foot. We're going to pivot on the toes and move into warrior 1. So right toes towards the back of the mat. Left toes angled towards the side. Inhale, let's come up with the arms. Good, 1 more inhale here. And then exhale, reach your left arm forward, right arm comes back for a bit of a twist. Good. Gaze can come back towards your right fingertips. Let's inhale our right hand forward now. Left hand reaches wide. Back behind you, open the arms up. Good. 1 more time with the same action of the hands. Left arm reaches forward, right arm back. And then again, right arm forward, left arm back. Inhale, let's bring arms back through, right through front center. Inhale, straighten your front leg, fold forward with the hands. If you need to make any adjustments into the feet, do so. Keep walking your fingertips forward and breathe here. Good.
This time, let's bring a slight bend into the right knee and start to walk your fingertips forward. Left leg comes up now as high as you can up towards the ceiling for standing splits. If you need a little more leverage, you can wrap your right hand behind your right calf or ankle. Left hand grounds strongly down to the mat and keep reaching the left leg up. Good, let's release our hands. Right hand reaches right out in front of you, stacks left hand onto your hip for Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Left arm reaches up towards the ceiling if possible. And if you're wobbling like me, just keep gaining back the consistency in the breath. Okay, let's return our hands back down to the mat. Let's step our left foot back. Keep your heel lifted, coming into a low lunge here. Inhale, let's come up with the arms. Let's start to tip forward with the torso, all the way into that standing right leg, and then come up with the left toes. Coming into flying posture, arms can be by your side, straight out in front of you, or even onto your hips. Good, bend into that right knee, gently place the left foot back, and then let's switch sides. Pivoting around, coming to face the left toes to the front. Your back toes are angled and outer edge of the back foot is sealed down. Let's bend into the front knee for Virabhadrasana 8. Okay, now let's move with the arms. Right arm reaches forward, left arm back. And then let's switch. Left arm reaches forward, right arm back, open through the chest, expand with the body with every breath. Good again. Right arm reaches forward, left arm back. And then again, left arm forward, right arm back. Let's return our arms back up through center. Inhale, straighten your front leg and fold forward. Walk your fingertips out in front of you. Take 2 breaths here. Okay, let's bend into the left knee. Start to bring all your weight forward into your fingertips and reach that right leg up towards the ceiling for standing splits. Again, option here to wrap your left arm behind your left calf. Reach that right leg up. To release, left fingertips walk out in front of you. Let's start to roll that right hip open into Ardha Chandrasana, or half moon posture. Your right hand can stay onto your hip for balance, or up towards the ceiling, gaze comes up. Good, watch your breath. Really steady into that left foot, keep expanding through the chest. Let's return our right hand back down into the mat. Step your right toes back, coming into your low lunge, and then when you're staying to the feet, inhale your arms up. Good, sink a little deeper. Beautiful. Inhale, straighten your left leg, reach through the arms, and come to stand at the top of your mat into Samastitihi. Okay. Let's take a vinyasa here to steady the breath. Inhale, come up with the arms, and exhale, fold forward. Inhale, gaze comes up. Exhale, plant your hands, jump or step back into high plank. Let's lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good, inhale, step your right foot in between your hands. Drop your left knee down onto the mat and inhale your arms up towards the ceiling. Sink nice and deep into that front knee. But protect the pelvis, but keep drawing that right hip back, left hip forward, and hugging the belly button towards your spine. Okay, now really strong into the legs. Inhale, straighten your left leg. Good. Exhale, tap your left knee down. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, down. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, down. Plant your left hand down onto the mat. Right hand onto your knee and start to walk your right toes wide. And again, sink into that hip, breathe here, and use your right hand to expand through the chest. Your back toes are tucked under, giving you a little more leverage there. You
You can start to roll on the outer edge of the right foot and really get that beautiful opening here in the front side of the body. Good, now how steady is your breath? How consistent and rhythmic is the mind in the practice? Good. If you've rolled onto the outer edge of your foot, plant that foot down. Bring your right hand to the inside edge of your right foot and step back into downward facing dog. Good. Let's roll onto the outer edge of the left foot, inner edge of the right. Let's kind of lean into that left hand and reach your right arm up for a side plank. Now, a few options here. If this is too intense, drop your left knee down onto the mat. If you need added intensity, lift your right leg up. Good. Now stay here. If it's challenging, take 3 more breaths. Teach the body and the mind that you can push a little further. Good. Let's lower that leg. Let's return into high plank. Lower chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good, switching sides. Inhale your left foot forward. Dropping your knee down onto the mat. Good, and inhale your arms up. So same series of sequence here. Same series of postures. So you know what to expect. Just see if you can sink in. If you're finding that your mind is busy, close your eyes and take 2 breaths. Let's drop our right hand to the inside edge of that right foot or left foot. Walk your left foot wide and left hand onto your knee. Start to open through the chest. And if you did so on the other side, start to roll on the outer edge of that left foot and really push to find that expansion through the left hip. So just doing an overall body scan, checking in with the shoulders, the jaw and the forehead, releasing the tension there. Couple more breaths here. And let's return both hands down onto the mat. Inhale, step your left foot back into downward facing dog. Let's start to roll on the outer edge of the right foot, inner edge of the left foot. Right hand plants down to the mat and inhale your left arm up towards the ceiling for our side plank. Again, you can feel free to drop your right knee if you need a little more support. Or if you're adding on, let's lift that left leg up. Good. Everything is hugging into the center. Start to tune into your strength. For 3, 2, and 1. That foot lowers, hand down onto the mat. Let's lower, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good, roll through the spine, coming to high plank. And then lower all the way down onto the mat. Good. So let's reach our arms straight out in front of us, palms facing down, tops of the feet down. And then let's just rest the forehead. And take a moment here to really settle into the mat. Maybe rocking from side to side on your hips. Feeling extremely grounded and supported by the mat below you. Good. Keep your hands and your forehead down, but inhale, let's lift the legs up. Good. Really spread this tension from the posture all the way through the lower back down to your toes. Good. Let's lower our feet down. And then this time, inhale, lift the forehead and the arms up. Good. Keep your neck long, gaze down. And then lower down. 1 breath. Good. And then inhale this time. Let's lift everything up. Feet, hands, head. Breathe here. Can you reach a little further? Lift a little higher. Beautiful. Let's lower. Now bend both knees. Reach around. Grab onto the outer edges of your feet. And inhale, let's kick up. Coming into Dhanurasana. So you might barely be off the mat, but this posture takes patience and dedication. So breathe here, lift a little higher. And when you want to come out of the posture, take 3 more breaths. Very good, let's release. Turn your cheek onto the mat, close your eyes, take a big breath. Let's bring our hands beside our chest. Inhale ourselves forward, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Gaze comes forward, let's jump all the way through onto our seat. Straightening your legs out in front of you. And let's take a forward seated fold. So now we're really starting to shift the practice, slow things down. So we always start with a little more movement and intensity in the beginning. Kind of fire up the system, put a little pressure, maybe even a little stress on the system so that we're strengthening our boundaries. And then at the end, we like to pull everything back in. See how quickly we can settle the mind, soften the breath, and just really stay focused into the practice. And when I mean soften the breath, I still want that same consistency, that same rhythm that we started with. And inhale, let's come up. We're going to bend our right knee up towards the ceiling. We're going to grab onto either side of the right foot. Sit nice and tall. You might need to come up onto a block if you find you're collapsing back into the low spine. With your left heel grounded down strongly, inhale, let's lift our left leg up towards the ceiling. Sit nice and tall. Gaze can come up and then expand through the chest. Sit a little more proud. Good. Now let's drop the right foot to the outer edge of that left foot or the left leg and then cross into our twist. Left arm wraps around your right knee, right fingertips back behind you, gaze comes back. Good, if you want to move deeper, we hook on the outer edge of the right knee. And some of you may be working your bind, threading your left arm through the hole you've created with your right knee, and arm reaches back, clasping onto your fingers. Good, sit a little taller and twist a little deeper. So how we show up here on our mat is usually how we're showing up in our life. So we like to practice showing up with huge dedication to the practice. Do the work while we're here, breathe deeply, and then see how that can transfer into the rest of our lives. Taking these patterns, kind of unwind, straighten the right leg. Let's grab onto either side of the left foot and send it up towards the ceiling. Remember to keep leaning forward so we're not collapsing back. It's this push-pull. So your hands are pushing back on your left foot. Your left foot is pushing into your hands. Now you have a little more space through the spine. The body constantly wants to find more space, more freedom. Okay, let's cross left foot over top of the right leg and move into our twist. Right arm to your left knee, left fingertips back behind you, and then try to take the same variation here as you did on the other side. May not feel the same, but eventually we're working to create that balance point, that equilibrium. Sit a little taller, and try to breathe really deep into the belly. Straighten the legs, let's cross the ankles, come back, high plank. Let's lower chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good, we drop down onto our knees, moving into camel posture, Ustrasana. So variation here today, keep your left hand onto your hip and inhale your right arm up towards the ceiling. So the first option is just to start to lean back here. Now if you normally grab onto your heels, you can reach your left hand back towards your left heel. Keep your gaze back and then start to send your pelvis forward. inhale back up through center. And then let's switch sides. Right hand onto your hip, left arm up towards the ceiling, and then same thing here. So either right hand onto your hip or we're reaching back for our heel. Good, really extend into that upper spine. Let's inhale ourselves back up through center. Sitting back onto our heels, grab onto your knees and curl. Gaze comes down. Okay, let's do it one more time. Inhale, rise up. Hands onto our hips, right arm up, and start to lean back. You can reach for your heel. You can just keep your hand onto your lower back. Inhale back up. Switch sides. So you want to find a bit of a flow with the transitions in your postures too. Good. Inhale back up through center. Last time, sit back, curl. Let's release through the spine. Let's start to bring our forearms down onto the mat. And then we're going to come into headstand or headstand prep. So let's grab onto opposite elbow with our hands. Now release and interlace your hands. Crown of the head's going to come down onto the mat, back of the head supported by your hands. Now keep your elbows quite closely together because literally your head can almost lift off the mat. There should be very little pressure on the head. Let's tuck our toes. Send your hips up towards the ceiling. Now start to walk your toes forward until your hips are over your shoulders. If you're doing the prep posture, you're lifting one foot, taking a few breaths, and then lifting the other. If you're working the full posture, two ways. You can come light onto your toes and then just kind of float up here, or you can bend your knees and then slowly start to bring your toes up towards the ceiling. Good. Keep pushing your forearms down to the mat, kind of bringing the shoulders nice and strong and steady. Good, now can you steady your breath? Let's take one more breath. And nice and controlled, slowly start to return the feet down onto the mat. Let's take a nice, good child's posture here. Your knees are wide. Reach your arms out in front of you and drop your forehead down. So shifting our perspective. So just recognize what that means for you. When we come upside down, again, it's not about the fancy posture. It's not about being able to take inversions, but rather that we're shifting everything in the opposite direction, taking a new perspective on things. And let's start to make our way out. Shifting your knees together, feet off to the side. And then let's come to lay flat onto your back. Very good work. It's a good point to check in the practice into the body. Just notice where you're sitting with your intention, how steady it is there, how steady the breath is. Just maybe slow things down, 2 breaths. We worked really hard to kind of reset, come into this with a new approach, and hopefully come out with a new perspective on things. Not just on the physical level, but even when it comes to the breath, and even the rhythms and the patterns that are consistently showing up in our lives. And let's bring our knees in towards our chest, hugging your knees in, but really ground through the lower back. So mostly your tailbone is going to want to curl up towards the ceiling. See if you can push it down into the mat. Find a little more length through the spine. Okay, let's plant the left foot onto the mat. Reach your right toes up towards the ceiling. Let's start to bring our hands. They can start at the back of the leg here, the thigh. You can start to work your way up depending on the flexibility of the back of the leg here. Keep drawing your shoulders down your back, rolling them down. Okay, if you want to intensify, straighten that left leg. Maybe even bend through the arms. Keep holding the outer edge of that right foot. Left hand comes down onto your pelvis and start to drop your right foot out to the side, nice and wide. keep taking deep belly breaths. On your inhale, your belly should be extending out. On your exhale, your belly can draw back towards your spine. Okay, let's draw our knee back up through center, and then we'll switch sides. Right knee up towards the ceiling, catch on to your left leg. Okay, just notice and do a quick body scan. What's happening in the jaw, maybe in the forehead. What's happening in your shoulders. So what can you consciously release? Sometimes it's just old, bad habits of clenching through the body where it actually could just be nice and soft and relaxed. Okay, let's open the leg to the side. When we soften and we relax, we start to shift into the parasympathetic nervous system. We move into this natural state of healing and relaxation. And the stress hormones stop being released in the body. And everything kind of shifts back into this state of equilibrium. Good. Inhale, let's bring our leg back up through center. And drop it back down onto the mat. Let's bring our knees in one last time. Maybe rocking from side to side. And then let's shift into Shavasana. So legs come down onto the mat. And just see how comfortable and settled you can become here in the body. Your last job here is to release any tension. Kind of get out of the way so that the body and the mind can naturally finish their work here. Doing a full cleanse, a full detox, and a full reset. If we consciously keep showing up and doing this over and over again, we can consciously create new patterns and start to shift into more of a state that we've consciously created. So watch how soft the breath becomes in the body. Watching the chest rise and fall. Full deep breath back into the body. Start to draw our knees in towards our chest. Taking a moment here. And let's roll onto the right side of the body. Before you gently make your way up to a comfortable seated position at the top of your mat. So let's find a nice tall spine here, comfortable seat. Let's rest our hands onto our knees. We're going to take one breathing exercise here, one pranayama, and a very short little guided meditation. So let's just start to move into our deep belly breaths. On your inhale, your belly extends out. And on your exhale, your belly button draws back towards your spine. We're starting to flood the cells with fresh oxygen. Ridding the body of any dis-ease just by consciously breathing. Let's do one more round of this breath. And then soften. Move back into the natural breathing. And let's take a couple rounds of breath of glow. Interlace your hands. Palms come to face the crown of your head. Arms are bent just slightly. Now moving with breath of fire. On your inhale, your belly extends out. And on your exhale, you're snapping your belly button towards your spine. Most of the focus is on the exhale, and the inhales will just naturally start to move. So you can follow me and connect to the rhythm. If it's too fast, then find a rhythm that you can hold on to for about a minute or so. So to begin, let's take a full inhale here. Full exhale. And let's begin. Inhale, the belly comes out. And exhale, we snap it back in. Okay, keep moving with your rhythm. Keep moving with the breath. Keep going, and if you lose your pace, you just come and you join us once again. Okay, do 10 more. Good, inhale, straighten your arms. Hold your breath at the peak of your inhale, drop your chin towards your chest. Keep holding your breath in. And then exhale, release. Keep your eyes closed. Shift back into the natural breath. Just notice the clarity, the sense of freedom that you feel from this clearing breath. The last breath that we did, breath of glow, is extremely, extremely powerful for strengthening the nervous system. Allowing us to clear out and detox the system and really shift into that healing state. Now with all of that space and that freedom that you've created, let's drop our awareness into the body. Starting to shift into our meditation. When you start to rest into this space within the body, I want you to connect to the mantra, I am free. You can start to repeat the mantra in your mind's eye, just silently in your head. Every time you say it, maybe starting to feel a little bit lighter. Starting to feel less restricted and held back by the physical body. Starting to let go of the hold of the mind. Starting to breathe into this infinite space of possibility. Every breath you take, you find more space. With every exhale you take, you feel more and more supported and grounded here. Becomes this beautiful balance of freedom and space, and groundedness and support. And when the mind wanders, we very, very gently just nudge it back into this space. Coming back into our mantra, I am free. Infusing this mantra and intention into every cell in the body. Start to harness all of that freedom and space and infinite possibility. Starting to pull it back into our realm in the physical body. Taking 2 deep breaths here. And then let's inhale our hands in front of heart center. One last time, infuse your breath with your intention. Thank you very much, everyone.